Hi everyone, can you hear me? Yes, loud and clear. Hi everyone, welcome to our first BicTok of 2025. Thank you for participating and joining us today. Today we'll be speaking about practical tips for e-filing, document management, and virtual or online hearing. Join us as we kickstart our BicTok series of the year with representatives from BICAM and SCRIBE. Speakers will delve into the latest feature of BICAM's automated case management system and a short step-by-step tutorial of e-filing for your arbitration and mediation cases. Additionally, speakers will also provide an overview of managing virtual hearings on extensive experience as assisting with virtual hearings both locally and internationally. The speakers will share practical strategies for conducting successful online hearings. This session will examine how courts and legal professionals around the world are embracing remote formats, focusing on the technical setup and through testing essential for seamless appearance. Without further ado, I will now introduce our distinguished panel here with us today. For our moderator, we have Mr. Chin Yan Fong. Mr. Chin is a fellow in the Chartered Institute of Arbitration and also a distinguished arbitrator and accredited mediator at the Asian International Arbitration Centre. Mr. Chin is also an accredited adjudicator under the Construction Industry Payment and Adjudication Act 2012. He is also on the International Panel of Arbitrators, the Chinese Arbitrators Association of Taiwan, and also the Hainan International Arbitration Court. In addition to his list of accreditation, Mr. Chin is well-versed in the following areas of law: arbitration, adjudication, mediation, family law, employment law, construction law, and civil litigation. His experience, coupled with his vast knowledge and passion in law, has enabled clients to instill their trust in him to provide them with the best legal representation. Next, we have Mr. Sandesh Singh from SCRIBE. Mr. Sandesh is the CEO and co-founder of SCRIBE Synergy, Malaysia's leading legal and transcription service company. With over 15 years of experience, he has been instrumental in transforming the transcription industry, providing accurate, affordable, and dependable solutions to more than 5,000 legal firms and corporations, including prominent names like Petronas, EPF, and the Malaysian Bar Council. A qualified lawyer with an LLB from the International Islamic University Malaysia, Sandesh combines his legal expertise with innovative leadership to ensure SCRIBE Synergy consistently delivers top-tier services. He is passionate about excellence and innovation. He leads a talented team dedicated to upholding uncompromising quality when exploring advancement in transcription technology. Lastly, we have Ms. Sharifa speaking on behalf of us today for BICAM. Sharifa currently manages the Borneo International Centre for Arbitration and Mediation. She was previously a senior case counsel in BICAM and held the same position in Asian International Arbitration Centre, AIAC, before joining us here at BICAM. Before we kickstart the session, I would like to remind participants to display their full name during this session for verification purposes for collecting their CPD points. So please display your full name so that we could recognize you when accrediting you with CPD points after the session. If you have any questions during the session, please feel free to drop them at our chat box and our moderator will find the right time to pose these questions to the speaker. Thank you, everyone. Without further ado, I'll pass the floor to our moderator, Mr. Chin.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Marshall, for the introduction. Okay, I think we will start the session. And first of all, I think I will refer the question to Ms. Sharifah. Can you tell us about the BICAM website and its features?
Hi, everyone. So my name is Sharifa. So to answer Mr. Mr. Chin's question, what about the BICAM's website and features? I'll have to share my screen so that everyone can get a closer look at the interface as well as what we can offer. So let me just share the screen 1 second. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so our website, www.bicam.org, is shown here on this page. So this is the home page. You can see that we have what services we offer here: streamlined dispute resolution, pre-filing consultations, case management, training workshops, facilities, and ADR adjunct services, all what a typical arbitral institution can offer. At the top panel, you can see there we have about us, where this page will tell you a little bit about our background as well as our council members here. And oh, there we go, Mr. Chin as well. And then at the next page, we have our arbitration rules, which I think is a little underutilized because not a lot of people understand that arbitral institution must showcase their arbitration rules as well as their code of conduct for arbitrators. So for to gain a deeper understanding into what is required of an arbitrator, you can click on this document, and to understand how arbitration is administered under BICAM, you can click the rules. Next, we have the mediation rules. The same can be seen where you will see the mediation rules. And the next, we'll have the schedule of fees, where you can compare arbitration fees here in USD, in ringgit, and this part is the administrative fee, and the next part is the arbitrator's fees, both listed in USD and in ringgit as well. So now we move on to the next part of the schedule of fees, which is the mediation fees. It is also listed here, where mediation sessions per day, a domestic session is 5,000 ringgit, whereas reviewing the documents per hour is 600 ringgit, and registering a mediation is only 150 ringgit. Next part, you can also see fee calculator, which I think would be the most interesting part if you are thinking of registering your case. So let's say, for example, in an arbitration and the amount in dispute is in ringgit Malaysia, you can key in, let's say it's about 1 million ringgit and it's one arbitrator. You can key in here. Registration fees is 1,500 ringgit. Administration fees is 8,000 ringgit. Arbitrator's fees is 46,000 ringgit and 20 cents. The total amount cost of this arbitration will be 55,520 ringgit for a 1 million ringgit in dispute. But of course, this 55,520 ringgit will be split into two payable by the claimant and the respondent, less registration fees. Now, the same goes for mediation here as well. We will calculate here based on the number of days, hours, minutes of the mediation, review of documents per hours here, and then you can see the total amount payable down below. Now, let's move on to the next part of our website. If you are familiar with how arbitration works, then you understand what a standard arbitration clause is, or you've seen or come across an arbitration agreement in a contract. So an arbitration agreement does not mean it's a separate agreement in the contract. It is part of the contract, but it's also considered an agreement on its own. So You can find model clauses, which are standard clauses for arbitration on our website here, model clauses. And you can see if you'd like to administer arbitration under BICAM, you can see what a typical clause here would look like. And then next part is what a typical mediation arbitration clause would look like. And the next part is an expedited arbitration clause. All of these features that I've mentioned under schedule of fees, fee calculator, and model clauses are all featured in our arbitration rules and mediation rules respectively. So now we move on to the next part, which is the BICAM panel, which is of interest to many who have been in arbitration or mediation for at least 10 years. They'd like to be a part of our panel. Of course, if you are a party and you're looking to appoint an arbitrator or mediator, you can just search. Let's say here, we go by Mr. Chin's name, and he's listed here, as well as Tan Sri James Fong. And then next part, I will show you in a bit how to join the BICAM panel on our automated system. So we have an online system where you can put in your details, upload your CV, and then we'll process your impediment application. So I'll just do that shortly. Next, we have our events calendar, where you can look up all of our past events as well as our past BicTok recordings. And then we also have our facilities. So in case you are thinking of hosting a hearing at BICAM, you can do so and check out our prices, the rental rates for the days and half days as well. And next, we also have, in collaboration with SCRIBE, is our transcribing rates. We are given, sorry? Oh, is that a slight disruption? Okay, so we are given special rates under SCRIBE for those of you who'd like to engage our facilities, and as well as our SCRIBE's transcribing and recording rates. So here it is listed, 7 ringgit 90 cents per minute for a 48 hours turnaround time, and so on. I'm sorry, if I'm going too fast, please let me know, but it's just there's a lot to cover in our online system alone, so I'll just have to highlight a few other things on our website. So next one, we have our previous ADR summit, and soon to upload our flagship this year in July. It will be from the 24th to the 26th of July 2025. So this is our past flagship event. Next one, we have announcements, where we put special announcements relating to newsletters, as well as ad hoc admission guidelines released by the Sabah Law Society that is relevant to our center. So very briefly, I think everyone understands that, lawyers from Peninsula and foreign lawyers cannot practice in Sabah or Sarawak without the admission by the court. So this is called an ad hoc application process. For Sabah specifically, you can apply to the courts and then be given a certificate to practice for the particular case that you are appearing for under BICAM's arbitration or mediation. Sorry, arbitration alone. Next part is Next Gen. We have here our Next Gen Secretariat, all based in Sabah at the moment. Of course, if you are anywhere else, you are always welcome to join us and register as part of our member. And if you have any proposals you'd like to conduct an event and whatnot, or seminars or talks, you can always reach out to us. And last but not least, we have our Contact Us page. Of course, you can always call us at the top or email us. And before I move on to Mr. Chin's next question, I'd like to know if I can go into the online system, which I think may answer a lot of the questions later on.
So, Sharifah, I think the audience would like to know, is it easy to use our e-filing system?
Okay, so I'll go into the system immediately. So when you are, okay, so when you are, there we are. So here, if you are a claimant, a respondent, or an arbitrator, it is advisable to click on that login button, and you will come to this particular page. Now, once you have logged in and then you key in your password, I'll show you shortly. This is for, okay, so I'll show you shortly what it looks like on the interface. I'll have to share a different window, just 1 second. To be fair, it is a little it's quite a bit to understand, but once you get the hang of it, like once you file a case, everything works in a flow, and it's quite easy to understand afterwards. So first, I'd like to show this one. Okay, so can anybody see? Can everyone see the page that I'm showing? It shows here test claimant. So welcome test claimant. So this is not the website link. This is our testing environment. We don't test on the current system, which is accessible to everyone, because then we will disrupt the default functions that have already been incorporated in the system. So all of our issues or error, we have a testing environment to test it in. So as you can see here, as a typical claimant, you will see all of the cases that you have filed at various stages, right? So I'd like to show what happens when you submit a case and what it shows and what it means. So here you will see PN, which means pending. Your case has not been approved yet by the case manager. So once that is done, you will come up here as after commencement, once the case manager has approved your case. So now I'll go into the system. When you submit a case, you click here, arbitration. So this page will come up where you'll have to fill in all the details of your client and then your details as the representative. So the same thing goes for respondent and respondent's legal representative. So if you have the dispute already with the documents and whatnot, we'll just need you to upload the contractual documents for us to verify the nature of dispute, a brief description and whatnot. All of these things are taken into account when we proceed to appoint an arbitrator, as well as if you have paid the registration fee, then you can also upload it here. And if you have served your notice of arbitration to the respondent, you can also upload it here. And if you'd like to expedite proceedings, please provide us the documents you need. And if you have multiple contracts and intention to consolidate, if there is potential for multiple arbitrations to be filed, you can also click here. The options are here. Once that is done, you click save and you update application, and you will come to the submission stage, and then the case manager will approve. Once the case manager has approved, it will come to after commencement stage, where you won't be able to update your details anymore. So make sure you get your details updated as you go on. But if there's a change in the solicitors later in the case during the proceedings, then you'll have to let us know. Then we will make the changes for you afterwards. So now, as you can see, you cannot make the changes anymore. And then I will proceed to show you what happens once the case manager has approved. So over here, then we have the appointment stage. So during an appointment stage, you are able to see the arbitral tribunal and who is appointed here. And then the tribunal can then upload their documents here, which is in a completely separate window. I will show later from the perspective of an arbitrator. But right now I'm showing you from the perspective of a claimant or a respondent. So over here, once you have uploaded your documents as an arbitrator, then it will be listed here. And everyone will be able to see the files uploaded by the claimant, respondent, and arbitrator all in this section of e-files. If you are a party, you are not able to upload document as in this section, as it is reserved solely for arbitrators. If you're a party, then you are reserved here to upload all your documents. So now we can see that it is at the document stage. this on this side, of course, it speaks for itself. BICAM's documents are listed here on its own. So now we'll go to the next stage, which is during the proceedings. So when an arbitrator logs in, they will be able to click a button that says submit to proceedings. That is the stage between proceedings and appointment. So for the appointment stage to proceed to proceedings, or appointment stage to go on to the next stage, which is the proceeding stage, then you have to have the arbitrator approve by clicking on a button that says go to proceeding stage or submit to proceedings, which I will show later from the point of view as an arbitrator. So now we are at the proceeding stage. As you can see, parties documents, the parties able to upload documents here. Hearing detail is now enabled. This particular section is enabled for the arbitrator to update on when is the hearing, or if you have any virtual hearings. Essentially, it is to reserve a room at BICAM. But of course, this does not hinder you to reach out to us and consult with us how to go about booking a room, and we will then respond to you as to which room is more suitable for your hearing. Next part, once it goes to proceeding stage, after all the documents are filed and all the hearings have been completed, then we will go to closure of proceedings, where the arbitrator, once the arbitrator has declared closure of proceedings, this particular stage will show award. And the arbitrator will have to upload the award. You see, it's not available to the parties unless the arbitral tribunal uploads the declaration of proceedings in this particular section. So I encourage everyone to just go online and log in and see, toggle with the buttons and see. Of course, we will receive your cases, but if it's not meant, we will reach out to you and see if you'd like to initiate a case, and we will approve the case. But for now, we're showing you what happens at the award stage. So at the award stage, you're not able to click on the award just yet because the arbitrator has to upload the award and have the case manager certify the award. Once the award has been certified, then the case manager will click on delivery of award over here in status here. And you can see the award button is now enabled, and you can see the award letter here, date of award as certified copy of award. Please ignore the attachments. These are just for example. So once that is done and the parties have received the award, you can always log in and collect the award. We will close the case, and the case will be, you can only access the certified copy of the award from here on in. You can no longer upload documents. You can no longer make changes to your information. You can no longer put in a calendar, whatever that needs to be submitted later on. So now I'd like to share from the point of view of an arbitrator. I'll go very quickly. If I'm not so quick, if I'm not so fast enough now, I'll be even faster now. Just a bit. I will show the point of view of the arbitrator. Just 1 second. It's quite complicated because we have to show the point of view from both sides and have to make sure that we're showing the correct interface at this time. So I think it's this one. Should be this one. Yes, okay. So this is the point of view of an arbitrator. You can see that, so let's say, for example, we go to appointment stage. Of course, the arbitrator will not see when it's at submission or commencement stage because the arbitrator is not appointed yet. But once the arbitrator is appointed, the first thing arbitrator will see is appointment stage. So once the arbitrator is online, then you will see this information, and then the arbitrator can click submit to proceeding stage, one that I mentioned earlier. So once that is submitted, then the stage will go to proceedings. It will also be reflected in the party's case history, as I've shown earlier. Now, once that is submitted to proceedings, of course, the proceedings go on, and then we go to the award stage. Once the arbitrator has declared declaration of proceedings, then they will have to go to the award stage and upload the award letter, date of award, and certified copy of award letter. This award stage, remember, the parties are not able to access yet. This particular button, they're not able to access yet. So they'll only be able to access it once it is at the delivers awards status. So now the award is complete. I mean, the case is complete with all the documents in place. Now, I'd just like to highlight a few more details. So the calendar, under the calendar button, is a feature that our chairman has incorporated in the system because of the triggering system that was done in the courts of Sabah and Sarawak. So whenever there is a deadline or a due date to submit a document, or a due date for a deadline, or sorry, a date for a hearing, the arbitrator can click here and put there like what is it that you'd like to put, like, so is it time to file your witness statement, right? And then who is it addressed to, and what is the reminder date and the deadline. This calendar will trigger an email notification when the date is due. So just now we say there the reminder date. The reminder date is the date you want the email to send out and notify the parties of the deadline. So of course there are two separate dates, or it can be on the same day, however the arbitrator deems fit. And then another feature we'd like to highlight is the deposits.
Sharifah, before you go on, I just want to ask, will the arbitrator or the parties be given notifications in the system about documents being filed?
Yes. So whenever a case manager or an arbitrator or a party has uploaded a document, everyone will be notified. It will be an automatic reply to automatic no reply email sent out to everyone. So we will get a notification, parties will get notification, arbitrators will also get notification. It usually comes in the form of, this is to notify you that the case manager has uploaded a document. Please log in to review the document or to see what has been uploaded. So now I am speeding through this like Speedy Gonzalez here, because I have something else that I'd like to highlight in our system. Okay. So and then I think I can pass the floor over to Sandesh instead of hogging it. So I'm so sorry. I'll just highlight one more item, which is our empanelment. So as a party, or let's say if you're a lawyer who is representing the case and you're using your account for your case to submit a case or whatnot, you can also submit an application for empanelment. So you see here, it's 2-in-1, right? If you are a party, you can do the same. If you're an arbitrator, you can also submit an empanelment application. So now you have to fill in the dots. You have to click which is relevant to you. So ideally, you would have to have all of these requirements for you to be empaneled with us, either as arbitrator or mediator. So one thing that's quite confusing is why is there 3 buttons? Why is there arbitration, mediation, arbitration, and mediation? So sometimes you have arbitrators who are not mediators, so they can file separately. Sometimes you have arbitrators and mediators who are certified in both, and they've been in ADR industry for quite a long time. So we've made it easier for them to just fill in this application at the same time. So now you can upload your profile picture, your details, upload your CV. This is the most important thing. Okay, we need this. And then your professional memberships, if you have any, CR membership or whichever membership across the world that you have already acquired, your experiences as an arbitrator, your experiences as mediators. So I just like to highlight about written feedback. So a written feedback is sort of what would help your application if you don't have recent appointments. So like when you had appointments previously and you have at least 2 cases where you could receive where you could get a written feedback from the parties, then ideally upload it and it would help your application go a long way. Of course, you have to highlight which are your expertise, and then we will put you in the necessary category. But of course, it's an automated system, so it will automatically put you in the same category of those who are also, like, for example, in science and technology, or technology, tort, sports, whichever. And then and the rest is just to fill in the terms and then submit your application. Once you've submitted your application, it will come out under impanelment history. And once your impanelment has been approved, your certificate will be given automatically to your application, which you can access under impanelment history. So I think I'd like to show what impanelment history looks like. Just I need to know which page I'm at right now. Okay. Okay, so right now we're looking at the arbitrator's page, the arbitrator's profile. So you can see under impanelment history, this arbitrator, this test arbitrator has been approved, and you can see how the application is like. Of course, you have to fill in all the details. Again, please fill in these details. We need the details for us to process the application. But sorry, where was I? All right, so the certificate. This is how the certificate will look like. And of course, that is not the actual signature, but you can access your certificate immediately from your application history. Last but not least, you can always refer to the impanelment criteria at the home page, where you can access what is required of an arbitrator or mediator. As I mentioned earlier, ideally, if you have all of them, then you are it will help your application go a long way. If you need to update your profile, which is important for all our arbitrators and mediators out there, as well as our parties, claimant, respondent, law firm, or company, please update your details here. If you are a client and you have access to the system, you want to update your details, you can do so. Even a client can have a profile as well, because when the submit a case comes up, the information of a client can, let's say the email here is the same as what is in the client's email, then their details will automatically come up. The system will recognize that this is the same client that is being that is a party to the arbitration or mediation, and then they will also receive a notification. And then the rest is it. So this basically covers our current system that caters to parties, law firms, claimants, respondents, arbitrators, mediators, potential arbitrators, mediators, or potential cases. For us, as case managers, we also have our interface, which we will from time to time update, because the interface will be able to supervise or monitor all of the cases and all of the impanelment application at the same time. But one thing that is very important to highlight is that if you have your own profile, again, we are not able to edit your details. This is a policy where the center cannot edit the details on your behalf. So you will have to go online, log in, and then edit it on your own. Other than that, we have pretty much covered how to file a case with BICAM. So I hope that in that very, very quick supersonic hedgehog way of demonstration, everyone has understood a little bit about how our system works. Again, please go online, log in, create an account, and try and see how you can understand the system better. Now, I've completed my presentation, so I'll just stop sharing in a bit. Any questions?
Yes, Sharifah, I have one question. If the parties and arbitrators use the system, right, is it still necessary for them to send the correspondences and documents in hard copy to BICAM?
Okay, so no. So the simple answer is no, because we don't accept service of documents by hard copies anymore to support greener arbitrations. We do, however, do not hinder the parties to serve it to each other. We also encourage that every time a document is served, even though you use the system, it is not necessary, or we don't prohibit the parties from still sending it via correspondence. See, why we encourage to use our system is because we have the capacity to hold your documents. You can upload as big of a file and as many files as possible without having to upload it into your own cloud server or Google Drive, and then sending it as a link so that the arbitrators or the parties can access. So we encourage the use of our system in that way so that you can have a more efficient administration of your hearings.
Thank you so much, Sharifah, for that. I think now we'll move to Sandesh. And maybe Sandesh, can you tell the audience briefly about your company SCRIBE?
Yes.
Services?
Okay. Hi, everyone. Very good evening. Thanks for having me. And okay, I will just go through quite briefly about what SCRIBE does. We've been around for 16 years now, and we specialize in transcription. This is basically how we started. So back in 2009, when the CRT systems in court started, that is when we started the company with myself with a few partners. All of us were practicing, and then after that we quit, and then we started off this company. And yes, we started off with transcription. Then slowly people started asking us, look, can you also do recording services as well? And then we started to do recording for arbitrations, conferences, and so on. So where we came from, actually, we kind of rely on the quality of the audio. And then we realized also a lot of the times, whenever we receive audios or videos from everywhere else, it's actually quite bad. So it affects our transcription. So we actually spoke to a lot of audio engineers and a lot of specialists, and we actually came up with quite a lot of software and hardware solutions to make sure that everything is captured clearly. So that is where we started off. And we also do things like AI transcription. That is something new that we've gotten into. We also do virtual hearings, like we manage virtual hearings for local and international arbitrations. So that is basically where we started from.
So Sandesh, for the benefit of the audience who are practitioners and those who conduct hearings online, do you have any tips with regards to setting up their audio system and computer systems so that the arbitrator or the judge can, have a clear and constant connection?
Yes. So, okay, so virtual hearings, firstly, it became very popular during the COVID times, right? Before that, no one really, we had very brief, like a few virtual hearings here and there, in the sense that probably if a witness is not around or if the arbitrator is not around, he's overseas and all that. So that's when these virtual hearings became very popular, and now it's pivoted into hybrid hearings. In fact, most of the cases that we do now, it's more or less like a hybrid concept, because you cannot get everyone in the same room at the same time all the time. It's not possible. It's especially sometimes when the company reps and all, they want to listen in, they would prefer a hybrid hearing. So basically you have to cater for quite a few kinds of scenarios.
Okay.
One of the most important thing I feel is your microphone. And when we hear people online, they'll be using their laptop mics. It's not clear enough. Like I'm using something like this. It may not look very good, but I think it's pretty clear. But you can also get even better microphones where your presence is felt even more. For example, like we had a case where one of the counsels was using his laptop mic, sounded very tinny. The arbitrator was okay, he was fine with it, he could hear, but the other counsel had a very nice, I think it was a Shure branded microphone with the whole setup and all that. There was more weight to his voice, there was more presence, and instantly everyone was just paying attention more, just paying attention to him better. So that itself, I feel, makes a difference. So I mean, I cannot comment how the arbitrator really felt, but I could see that, yes, basically he was more attentive. For us, transcription is just so much better, and you get better notes at the end of the day. So your microphone really matters. Um, Also, the type of microphone, right? For example, if you have many people in the room, try to get one of those like single mics for yourself to use. Those boundary mics. Sorry if I'm getting a bit technical. Well, this is basically what I do. So I hope you all don't mind this, but those boundary mics that you put on the table, the Logitech ones and all that. When we hear that, it's not very clear because sometimes it doesn't even know who is talking. Sometimes it may think you are maybe just a background noise and your voice isn't captured clearly. And half the time, the arbitrator or the judge is like, what's going on? You can't really hear. It really hinders the cases quite a bit. So what I see sometimes in the international cases, the international councils and all that, they tend to spend quite a bit on their equipment itself. And that already gives you that that presence in that sense. Okay, so
So are you
microphones
saying
are
like a dedicated mic for the speaker?
yes, a dedicated mic for the main speakers. You can have a boundary mic as well. Boundary mic means the ones that you can capture quite a few people together, but you get a higher quality one. So so at least everyone is captured clearly. So that's one of the main things that I would say. The next thing, of course, your camera placement, also very important. Uh, Again, this is from the experience that I've seen. All right. So like I could be sometimes talking to you like that. The judge is here, but I'm talking here like that. And it doesn't look very proper, or sometimes the witnesses are off camera and all that. All of these things, it's very distracting, especially for councils and all that. Sometimes they can't even see what's going on. So your camera placement, you need to talk directly into the mic, especially some of them, they use iPads. iPads, you're looking into a corner like that. It also affects how the feeling or the mood of the hearing. So camera placement, very important, especially in a room that has many, many people. You got to make sure that you're focused on at least the main people. Sometimes if it's a big room and you've got a bird's eye view of everyone, you don't even know who is speaking. And the judge also, or sometimes us as transcribers, we cannot tell who is speaking because it's very far away. So these kind of things are quite actually very important. And we understand as counsels, these are not really your priority because you all are focusing so much on your case. There's so many things you'll have to focus on. This is the last thing you all are worried about. But please, it is very important. So as far as possible, try to prepare these things in advance. That simple things like lighting as well. So if your light behind is very, very bright, like you've got the sun behind you, we can hardly see you as well. And simple, like you can even get a 10 ringgit light just to shine on you and all that. Your presence is felt much better. That to me makes a difference. So those are some of the things. In fact, I could go on. There's a couple of other things like uh, always update your laptop in advance. We have cases while it's going on, suddenly you go off camera, and then you realize that you didn't update your laptop the day before. Or especially for Zoom, sometimes Zoom just updates on its own. So these are the things that I think should be done 1 or 2 days before.
Okay. You talked about camera setup. So in your experience, when a witness is giving evidence, how many cameras will be set up for the witness?
So,
is it just the one facing him?
So there's a few ways to do it. When we first started, there were talks about a 360-degree camera. I don't believe it's being used very much nowadays, but honestly, one camera is more than enough as long as you can capture the room. You can have one camera to capture the room, one camera just to capture the witness. And sometimes what we do is we do something called witness monitoring, where we monitor the witness's laptop as well.
Okay.
So we make sure that the witness is not clicking on anything he or she is not supposed to. So that is one of the things that is being done. I feel now there is less prominence put onto it. I think because we have become a little bit too comfortable with virtual hearings. So sometimes I feel like what we see is that those things are not really looked after. Like when we first started virtual hearings many years ago, these things were very, very strict. Like I remember once the judge was not even happy during the break. He didn't want the witness to even go out of the room, and he was hoping like that there was a toilet in the room area itself. So we've heard like, I mean, of course, that's just one story, but so it used to be taken a lot more seriously. Now I feel not as much, uh, which I think it should, because you can see sometimes the witness is also like, you're looking down, playing on the phone and all that. So two cameras would be ideal, and to monitor the screen as well. That would be the best.
I see. Okay. Now, Sandesh, in the current advent of AI, artificial intelligence, what are the current trends do you see in your industry in regards to virtual hearings?
So now virtual hearings stroke, I would say virtual hearings stroke hybrid hearings. Um, there's a lot of AI, there's a lot of new AI innovations coming in. The one that we are quite, uh, of course, we were quite daunted about it before, which is the AI transcription. We went into it, thankfully, very early as well. And there is a certain amount of accuracy. You use the Zoom transcription, you use the Teams transcription and all that. It's pretty okay, but still there are a lot of inaccuracies. So it is getting better, but you still need to train it. So we have a software that we have already trained, which we are using on a day-to-day basis for AI transcription, which you can do both languages, English and Malay. So that's one of the main things. Another thing is for AI video capturing, which I find very interesting. It can be you are in a room, you can have 5 people in a room with the right camera. The camera will be able to break you up into 5 boxes. So, for example, like if yourself, myself, and there's 3 other people there, you will appear in one box, I will appear in one box, like that. So, that is like some new innovations coming into AI. Of course, you have filters and all that, but I don't think we're allowed to use filters in court. But those are some of the main things. Also, things like AI document, I think it's called discovery, especially for arbitration where you have thousands and thousands and thousands of documents. It will be able to sort out documents for you, whether it's correspondence or whether it's cost papers or what should go here, what receipts should go there and all that. So these are some of the new things that are coming up in the AI field. Oh, sorry, I just forgot to mention one more thing that I feel is quite important. Uh, Again, from the transcription point of view, there's two main things. One is uh, when counsels are referring to documents, we feel that even to save your time, counsel's time as well, when you refer to the document and the page number and all that properly, it comes out very clearly in the transcript. And when you look at your transcript, it's very fast compared to just saying this page over here, look at this, look down this paragraph and all that. Sometimes it happens when you're in a rush, but you'll have to go back to the video to refer what exactly you were doing. So those kind of things, if you're trained to say it clearly for yourselves, it will be much, much faster. And also things like opening up all your PDFs in advance. We've noticed that, especially when you have help of your junior counsels, they'll open up all the PDFs in advance. The case just goes like that very fast. And it really helps. It helps judges a lot. So yeah, those are some of the tips that that we gathered as we were doing these videos.
Speeds up the process of the hearing as well.
Yes, it really does. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, thank you, Sandesh, for your insights on virtual hearings. Marshall, is it possible to share slide number 5 for me?
Yes, give me one
audience,
moment.
Yeah. So for the audience now, I just want to give you a scenario of some problems which may come up during virtual hearings. So slide number 5. Okay, I'll give you an example of this scenario. You can read through it. Basically, there was a glitch in the internet connection, resulting in the Party A's counsel missing 2 minutes of cross-examination of his own witness, which was done by Party B's counsel. So he only found out later that there was the case went on, and he asked the arbitrator to whether it was okay to expunge those questions, because on his part he couldn't hear what his opponent was asking questions. See, so I think this is one of the scenarios where parties who have virtual hearings may face. All right, this is just for us to discuss and contemplate. The second one, Marshall, can you go to slide number 6? Okay, now in this scenario, which typically happens in Sabah, there's a power cut in electricity supply. Now, Party A's counsel immediately calls Party B's counsel to explain the situation. Unfortunately, Party B's counsel does not believe the predicament Party A is experiencing and accuses Party A of deliberately turning off the electricity to force an adjournment. So this is something which could happen also, and it's for us to think about. Marshall, now can you go to slide number 8? Okay, this is another scenario where a witness is giving testimony and the witness himself experiences a technical glitch and misses 10 seconds of questioning. Now, the witness, being a layperson, considers that the 10 seconds miss is unimportant and does not mention it to his own counsel or to the tribunal. It later appears that the witness that he had given an answer which is different than what he would have if he would fully had understand the question without the glitch. So just saying that these are scenarios which parties will encounter sometimes during hearings, and it's probably best if prior to commencement of hearings, the parties sit down with their opponents and draw up they call it online hearing protocol. I think that's what they call it. And if the parties can agree to the online hearing protocol and sign it, then that should minimize these problems. So on my part, I think that's all I have to contribute. May I ask if there are any questions from the participants? Or would Sharifah or Sandesh want to contribute anything else?
For me, I don't really have. I mean, I can go on and on about how to, online, because we've done quite a few hearings, so we've seen. But I mean, if the participants have any questions for me, like what kind of what maybe mics to use or what kind of systems and all that, also you can ask me. Or I mean, you can always reach out to us actually, because what we feel is that just like, for example, in court, you always have an interpreter to manage the hearings. So mostly I find that although parties like to manage the hearings on their own, there are a lot of things that a lot of scenarios that you all may not know of or how to fix. So for example, like, I mean, it's not necessarily you have to get us, you can always get another IT team or something, but have an independent party, anybody, to manage your hearings, things like opening up, breaking up rooms and all that. So the reason is you don't want to uh, sort of focus on these things when you are doing your hearings. Always get a technician to do it for you. So things just move smoothly. That's what I've noticed. Like all the hearings that move smoothly, you generally have someone helping you in all these technical issues and all that.
Yeah, Sandesh, speaking about breakout rooms, have you come across a scenario where, say, for example, party A and his counsels go into a breakout room, but without any IT help, they admitted opposing counsel in as well, and they didn't know about it.
And you can't get out of it.
Yeah, and you're
Yes.
talking about all the things that you need to talk about with, so that could
Yes.
be a glitch. Yeah.
And especially now mentioning that also, simple thing like recording. So when we do recording, we have not just the laptop Zoom recording, we have backup recordings as well. We have another software to do the backup recordings. So things like, I think some of the scenarios that you mentioned just now, we generally, well, we've never lost evidence because of that, because we're always doing some kind of a backup recording. And again, it's not for counsels to think about that. You all focus on what, I mean, basically your case, what really matters. Get any other technician to manage this kind of things for you. So yes, exactly that, going in the wrong breakout room, or the arbitrator, we had one when we first started, he didn't know how to come out of a breakout room as well.
Okay.
So all kinds of situations.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that will, if there are no questions from the participants, I think we will end today's Big Talk then. I'd like to thank Sharifah and Sandesh for their contribution and all the good information that they've provided to us today. And I hope that everybody has a good evening.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.